Registered? Congratulations! Your name has just been added to the registry of MSC. And what's next? Please watch this video till the end. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to inspire me to make more videos like this. The main reason why you would like to register is to work and live permanently in New Zealand with your family, right? So now you're registered, you just added an eligibility criteria for yourself to work legally under our profession, MLT or MLS. But there's one more challenge, and this is to obtain a visa that would allow you to work legally in New Zealand. Disclaimer, this is not an immigration advice. All informations I will mention in this video are based on my personal experience and a bit of research. To summarize, there are three major visas which will enable you to work and live in New Zealand. And the most obvious one is work visa. And then there's student visa and resident visa. Actually, work and resident visa can be applied hand in hand as long as you're offered a job that has a salary of $29.66 per hour. This pathway is called Straight to Residence Visa or STR. Again, I am not an immigration advisor, so I will leave this topic for you to explore. But I can include Immigration New Zealand website on my description below to give you ideas on how this will work. Or you can join us in our Facebook page on Pinoy Medtech in NZ. So after registration, what's next? Job hunting. Yes, you can now apply for a job wherever you are, offshore or onshore. If you are applying outside New Zealand, it's called offshore, and if you are applying inside New Zealand, it's called onshore. If you get an employer, then you can apply or they can apply for your work visa. The major job hunting websites in New Zealand are seek.co.nz and indeed.co.nz. But you can use direct websites of the employer you're applying, like the DHBs or the district health boards. But the most important question I would like to answer is, as an MLT, are we able to get an offer of $29.66 per hour to meet the immigration requirements? This is extremely important in getting a straight to resident visa. So the simple question is yes. Maybe not today if you don't have enough experience, but what you can do is sell yourself, show your worth, and one key is of course a good and Kiwified CV and cover letter, which I will discuss to you in details on my next video. Now, let's focus on salary. In New Zealand Laboratory, we have private and government employer that we can apply to. Private includes lab tests, med lab, path lab. Just make sure that before you apply, the lab is IANZ or International Accreditation New Zealand Accredited, meaning it is an ISO 15189 compliant. If not, then it may not be qualified as an accredited employer in New Zealand under immigration rules. Government hospitals or laboratories was previously named as DHB or District Health Board has now been changed to Te Whatu Ora Health New Zealand. But the area still carries the same old name, like my employer, Waitemata DHB is now called Te Whatu Ora Waitemata. Same thing with Auckland DHB, now called Te Whatu Ora Auckland or the Counties Manukau. These are the three major government hospital groups within the Greater Auckland area. Apologies, I can only give you a salary insight of a government employer where I am working. All government hospitals carrying Te Whatu Ora Health New Zealand have similar salary ladder or steps depending on what union you're at. Yes, we have a labor union in New Zealand, and usually they are our representatives in bargaining our salaries. If you are in a ladder or steps, you are eligible for a compulsory annual salary increment until you reach the last step where merits or performance counts in increasing your salary. I will show you a table to explain this further. Okay, in New Zealand Lab, we have two major unions, the PSA and the Lab Workers Union. If you get hired by one of the DHBs in New Zealand, as part of your introduction package is to select which union you would like to join. But don't worry, you are not in any means required to join a union at this stage. This is completely voluntary. If you choose not to join any of the union, your salary will be aligned with PSA salary step ladder. But the disadvantage is, if the member had an increase, you won't get an increase at the same time as the members. You only get an increase maybe after some time. Plus, you don't get an extra pay when a lump sum payments are given exclusively for members. There are small fee to be in this union. I think like $25 per salary or fortnightly. And in New Zealand, we get our salary every 15 days, similar to our quincenas and katapusan in Philippines. So how is this important in gaining your preferred salary? By the way, given here is an annual salary. To convert annual salary, we have to divide it by 52 weeks and further divide it into 40 hours. So 1 year is equal to 52 weeks, and in 1 week, there are 40 hours. Don't be confused, math lovers. This is not a calendar conversion. This is a work hour conversion and only applicable in New Zealand or in any countries that has 8 hours a day, 5 times a week work schedule. So under this website, tifatoora.govt.nz, we are under Allied Health Professionals. So this is Apex MedLab workers, or you have the PSA, Allied Public Health Scientific and Technical. Auckland region is different from the rest of NZ, so from provincial. Let me see how it looks. So these are the provinces would cover it. Their remuneration. We're here in medical laboratory technician. So this is your salary scale. It's almost similar, right? Almost similar for the province outside Auckland region. So this is a PSA agreement for Auckland, Waitemata, and Cantus Manukau. As you can see, this will expire, or this already expired last month, June 30, 2023. So currently we are bargaining the salary. This table will increase a bit after the bargaining. So go to table of contents. This is for PSA. Go to remuneration, non-degree technical scale. That's medical laboratory technician, phlebotomist, or qualified specimen services technician. We are under 5.8.10b. The progression is through the scale from step 2 to 4 by the way of automatic annual increments. Step 5 through operation of technical merit progression. So again, this is the salary steps for medical laboratory technician. We are looking into a salary range of 29.66 upon computation. 29.66 times 40 hours times 52 weeks would be equal to around 61,700 more or less. So we have to aim for this salary 61 or to 65. Again, as I told you, this is already expired last month, so we are currently on bargaining to increase this one. So most likely on the new agreement, if you applied now or from now on after the bargaining agreement, this 61.273 will increase. Imagine the increase before last year. Step 4 is 58. It becomes 61. So as you can see, 56 to 59, it is around 3,000 increase from last year. 58 to 61 is around 3,000 increase from last year. So this is a good news for you guys, kasi since we know that somehow the increase would be 3,000 per year, So if you look into this step category 59, and that step 3 is 59, 60, 61, 62. So we only need 61.9 or 61,900. So by next bargaining agreement, this 59 will become 62,000. So more or less, we can bargain to our employer that our salary would fall under step 3, right? And that is 62 in the current bargaining agreement. Or if you're more lucky, you can be offered step 4, then 61 will become 64,000 a year. You only applied for a medical lab technician and for a salary steps of 3 or 4. Salary steps 1 is for newly grad. Salary step 2 are less experienced staff, maybe one year experience. If you reach 2 to 3 to 4, 5 years experience, you can bargain for a higher salary, higher than step 3. So you can meet the minimum criteria of immigration, the 29.66. So again, if you don't join any union, your salary will be aligned to a PSA, into this one. So that's your PSA. How about the Med Lab Workers Union? Now let's go to Apex, Medical Lab Workers. So this covers Northland, Waitemata, Auckland, Counties, Manukau. So more or less it's pretty much everything. And this agreement will expire on August 31st of this year. Again, after the expiry of the agreement, there will be another negotiations of the salary. So that's a good news for the applicants. So under that, we go to salaries and wages. So part 3 under 5. So this is the salary for medical laboratory technician or the pre-analytical technicians. Again, April 22 last year, which will be renewed this coming year. So that's step 1 is 48 and the highest step is 62. So again, we are looking into a salary of around 61 or 62,000. So if we are using the Apex salary bracket, I think this is much harder to accomplish. So even if you are in step 4, it's not possible to get that salary. You have to have a step 5, and you know step 5 is the last step of your medical laboratory technician career. After step 5, you don't have any ladder anymore. So what you're gonna do is either you study to become a scientist or wait every year for a bargaining of your union. But don't worry, luckily, again, as I mentioned, if you applied for a laboratory job in a hospital and you don't join any union, your salary will be aligned to a PSA salary scale. To summarize, you have to apply for a job after registration. The offer has to be 29.66 per hour. In New Zealand, there are 2 unions, the PSA and the Apex. Apex is, in terms of salary ladder, is lower than the PSA. If you applied in a government laboratory or hospital, you are automatically aligned to PSA salary scale, which is also a great news for you. So hopefully, may natutunan kayo sa video na to and nalinawan kung ano yung mga questions nyo, at hopefully nasagot ko yung mga tanong ninyo regarding sa application. On my next video, I will teach you how to make your CV and your cover letter Kiwified so that it will be aligned to the New Zealand employer requirements. See you. Bye.